Cafe, much like that game yesterday, the second Cafe we are seeing total this stage, both times Oxygen going for that performance. We did see some interesting things in terms of that site selection. We saw Oxygen on that defensive side bring out mining. We saw SSG do the same. Both teams avoiding that top floor completely, wondering if that theme stays constant today.
Well, of course, with the ban phase coming out right now, a little bit of a change, but that's only because OXG banned Thatcher. Parabellum tend to favor the Thatcher and the Mira combination. They'll do half of that right now instead, favoring the Flores, which is a solid ban for Cafe. Flores can very easily deal with positions like Pixel or any other shield spots, and while they're starting on the attack, they might be denying themselves a tool. Flores is just too powerful, but we have a little bit of a surprise coming through. Did not have Valk banned yesterday in SSG OXG, not banned here again. That is a risky proposition.
Right, the Aruni banned instead, which is, again, not the most typical ban, but the idea of the Aruni ban is something that we would often see echoed in a Wamai ban. You remove the projectile denial operators, right? Those Wamai magnets, those Aruni Surya gates, those Jaeger ADSs all serve roughly the same purpose, just in slightly different ways, denying attacker utility and slowing them down as they work their way into the building. Those Surya gates slowing teams down will not be a factor, and Oxygen will not be able to use those as they start off things on the defense.
But the one worrying thing I have, and while OXG did make good use of the Valkyrie yesterday, I have no doubt that this could be a tool that'll be highly beneficial for them if they opt to keep using it on the defense. They're not running it right now, but they're leaving that option available later. Intel and Valkyrie in particular is something that Parabellum have run with widespread success with in Challenger League and in other tournaments as well. Of course, Intel is something that both teams can use, but Parabellum have an astonishing win rate when they have operators like Echo and Valkyrie in combination on the board. Intel can help a lot of teams, but it seems to help out Parabellum quite a lot more. They can manage to make good work of that intelligence that a lot of teams that we've seen them compete against in the past, albeit CL teams, have not been able to stack up against. So when PBR going in when the odds are against them, a situation they already thrive in, now they have a big tool to do it with.
Well, speaking of operator selection, Vertical on the side of OXG will be pulling out the Thorn again. We've seen her, a couple times here and there, those Razor Bloom grenades that work on the defensive side, those proximity mines, essentially, as those attackers work their way in the building. Well, they can find themselves in a nasty bit of trouble when those Razor Blooms detonate. Little trouble here from Foxe as he tries to maybe go for a bit of a spawn peek or two as Parabellum work their way up to the building. And, well, usually what we would see is them rappel their way up top and work their way down to the bottom, clearing from top to bottom. But in this case, they're going for a bit more of a direct approach, already in Bakery, pressuring the main wall.
Well, yesterday in the SSG OXG game, we saw Laxing K-Trick and K-Trick a Thermite charge not once, but twice yesterday on a Bakery Direct. This go around, of course, SSG made a mistake, not bringing that Maverick one of those rounds, but Parabellum have brought both the Thermite and the Mav to rectify this issue. Wow, Newer's going for a big play on that double door, but one that clearly does not pay off. Penguin and the rest very effectively deal with him. Now they can get on with the rest of the clear. With the coat check player gone, Parabellum have a key bit of map control, but OXG fight back fairly soon.
Yeah, Vertical will take the fight onto Eska and winning it, removing the Sledge, who, like we kind of already said, won't be going above and applying the vertical pressure. So losing that Breaching Hammer isn't the end of the world, but you certainly like to have those grenades back, because now the last grenade was, until a moment ago, in the pocket of Creators, and he is also out of that explosive potential. The Maverick still hard at work on this wall, but Laxing, hoping to deny it, takes down Penguin.
Yeah, I just want to highlight that real quick. The coat check pressure completely fended off by OXG. That was a big position they held, and Laxing continuing to go huge.
Yeah, aggressive again, takes the prone fight against Kool-Aid, who just was not expecting that, and despite being low at 1 HP, Laxing will still be a factor that both Wimpy and Creators are going to have to find a way to deal with. They've got 50 seconds, so theoretically ample time, but oh my lord, Laxing is not slowing down, taking the life of Wimpy, leaving Creators to fend for himself. Laxing is still hunting for kills on that prep wall, and Dream from above, providing the perfect support from Train Room, looking down through those prep vertical holes, will claim the final kill, and OXG there on the board.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how important that first kill Laxing got in the round. He obviously got a 3K overall, taking down players outside of the breach, but that kill onto Penguin in coat check was massive. Newers decided to give up that position willingly very early on, and on a Bakery attack, when you're trying to open up that main wall, having coat check pressure as well is very problematic for the defense to deal with. You have to start taking fights with that player, and Laxing does it and wins it. So now, Parabellum are in a much more, not dangerous position, but they're basically back where they started, and OXG aren't worrying about the other facet of that attack. Then once he starts getting aggressive on that main wall, he shut down not one, but two of the most important avenues for PB in that round.
So Oxygen, after looking good in the first, finding something that worked for them, they're going to go for Reading and Fireplace for round number 2. Parabellum, of course, in that last round did go for the very direct approach. It wasn't all about top floor control and utility clear and all that methodical, disciplined siege that I feel like we talk so much about. Instead, it was direct. And once again, on this site, they have to make that same decision. Do they want to go for the full top floor clear that often takes a lot of time? You clear your way all the way across that top floor into Cocktail and get some vertical play established. Or, like we saw SSG and OXG both attempt a lot yesterday on this site, almost every single time, in fact.
Pretty much.
Are we going to see them go for the train-sided push, the Fireplace Hall take, going in from the back and keeping it quick and making sure the defense stays on their toes?
Yeah, so I want to keep an eye on Parabellum in the first 30 to 45 seconds here. Obviously, if you're going... Oh, wow, I didn't even see that one coming, and... Oh no, Jonah. That's the sledge down. If they wanted to go for that take over on Cocktail, they just lost one of their key elements of vertical. They have the breach charges, so if they want to go for the full clear, they still could, but losing out on that sledge, man, they're really pigeonholing them now. And look at Vertical's position. Oh, but there he goes.
Okay, so Parabellum are able to get one back because Vertical, overextending himself, didn't make the decision to back off even after Foxe got the opener so quickly, giving the man count back, well, to even, not in the favor of either team at the moment. They are still hunting, rather Parabellum are still hunting for these players on the top floor. They'd really like to turn this one in their favor, but like you said, Carter, now they're really having no chance other than to go for that more expeditious top floor clear. Penguin alone will be hunting down for Foxe below, trying to track him down, but Foxe is just going to tuck tail and run.
Yeah, very dangerous position for both Foxe and Penguin there. The 1v1 down below could be a very dangerous game to get sucked into. The Foxe's used his C4, and now the defense has none of that secondary utility left, only reliant on those smoke canisters going in the late round now. And what do you know, Jonah? PB going for that dining clear. All they did, they take that cigar control, they take that Christmas control, they've set up their base of operations, and now they're starting to move down below, but they only have a minute left. That's the main issue right now. They still have Kool-Aid alive who can open up that dining wall. They can still get pressure since it is a 4v4 inside of red, but they have to be diligent with this time, especially with those 3 smoke canisters still alive. It could be very easy to get in the weeds here.
Well, the pressure they are applying right now has forced Dream to finally use those toxic smokes. We just saw one detonate a moment ago, and Parabellum building that pressure even further. Dream is going to continue to react accordingly. Now, they've opened up this pillars into reading wall. Creator's going to get a nade in, trying to move these defenders around, but no kills just yet.
Now we'll see Wimpy still trying to fire some shots, but the first kill goes through, though it's up top. That's a big bit of control by Penguin.
Yeah, Dream gets one back, though, taking down Creators. We're back at an even 3v3, and with 30 seconds to go, Parabellum, they know they have to make a move. Newers trying to play tucked here on White. Flashed out, though, and forced to fall back. Parabellum have the opening they need. Wimpy gets one, and we lose a player in the lobby. Kool-Aid now getting the bomb down. They know where Newers is positioned. They've got the cover. From the early round, their focus was working their way on that train room side, get their way into mining, into pillar, really surround the defense and suffocate their ability to roam freely, move around, and get flexible and get kills. But they were also providing some pressure on the top of White Stairs. Some vertical and, well, a good bit of pressure forcing Newers back, preventing him from, well, doing exactly what Newers does best, which is get aggressive, take fights, and turn the course of the round.
Yeah, Newers is excellent. But we also have another thing we want to talk about in parallel to that OXG SSG game yesterday. Mining and dining, Jonah, was one of the preferred sites. Cocktail not played a single time, and here OXG preferring that mining site once again. Of course, another stat to note, Jonah, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was almost 100% defender win rate, save for the final round, round 12. So this was, even though it might be the off-site in many people's minds, this still was a stronghold for the defense, one of the only constants on a very close cafe match. We'll see if Parabellum were able to watch yesterday and counter that one out. Of course, probably going to want to go for the vertical, but there's a tool that Parabellum have in their arsenal that not a lot of teams bring. Kool-Aid rocking the fuse right now with some hard breach charges as well. So OXG down below inside a train, they got to be careful when those fuse charges start detonating.
And Parabellum, OXG have to be careful because Parabellum is not SSG. Parabellum is a team that when they see a site like this, when they see an opening, they are a team that likes to get aggressive. This is something we talk about with Parabellum a lot, that they will just rush that site. If you are leaving just the slightest opening in your defense, maybe you think Parabellum's going to go for the full top floor clear and take their time, well, they have the ability to flick a switch and send it on in. Here's an interesting element that could assist in that Parabellum creative strategy. It is Kool-Aid in the fact that he is not rocking the LMG, he is rocking the shield instead. The fuse charge, at least the first one going off, that will communicate to OXG at least what they're dealing with. The hatch now getting opened, and, well, Kool-Aid looking to pressure out Train Room and take control as soon as they can.
I need DZ Grant to get me a stat. The last time we saw fuse shield in Pro League, but ooh, Laxing goes down very quick. What do you know? There's just players in the site.
I mean, Kool-Aid picks up that kill there onto Dream. What are OXG going to be able to do? You've got Foxay below, who no longer has his C4. Wimpy's going to be getting this bomb down, and Laxing needs to prove clutch here, but he simply doesn't know where to look. No, there's somebody sitting in dining, and he has no idea. The bomb's going to go down, though, and Kool-Aid can't do anything about it. Eska on the coverage, though, taking down Vertical. Laxing, this is his moment, and he'll get one. But we're back in a 2v2 because Kool-Aid pretty much, well, he's behind a shield. He can do nothing about that one. Wimpy taking this fight with Laxing back and forth, and Fireplace Hall losing it, though, giving Eska, well, the mantle of the last player standing. He's playing vertical. All he has to do is stay patient. The swing around comes in. He'll take down Foxay. Now it's Laxing sitting down below with 13 seconds. He's got to get a move on. He'll stick this diffuser. The pressure up above from Eska, though. There is no way that Laxing is going to be able to get it done. It is Eska from above, playing patiently as the Sledge. And despite probably one of the most confusing and messy rounds we've seen, at least this week, with a Sledge, a Sledge above and a Fuse shield in the mix, Parabellum will take the round.
Yeah, I don't really know what's happening with the Fuse shield. Maybe because Fuse is such an off pick. Maybe Kool-Aid went to it, forgot that he had the shield up, didn't have the LMG or the AK-12, or hey, maybe he planned it. I'm going to be honest, knowing Kool-Aid, not something I am fully surprised to see him bring out. But that was just a really well thought out execute by Parabellum. They used the fuse charges, clear out Train, also providing an opening to move inside of mining. And what do you know? The moment that second fuse charge went through, they were in the site. They'd pushed everyone back, all the way back to White Stairs with some presence in dining. Really just a well thought out take to what, guess what, Jonah? They see something they have to adapt to. They just go about it as quick as they can.
Well, OXG back to the first site of their successful defensive performance, where we saw Parabellum get, well, pretty much demolished on their bakery direct take. Thanks to some masterful play from Laxing, who, well, unfortunately for him, could not provide the clutch that his team needed in that last round, but certainly provided, I think, 3, maybe 4 kills even in that first round, and he'll be looking to do so again. The question remains, even though Oxygen have lost two rounds now in a row, the question remains for Parabellum, are we going to see another direct take, or are they going to go in up above?
Well, if they're going for another direct take, I really want to focus on Newers' position and coat check if that were to be the case. Giving that up when there's a direct going on is very risky, but right now, everyone's going all the way upstairs. You can see a couple of those operators meant for that full clear. The Jackal on the board, the Lion as well. Those are two big indicators that attacking teams will go through the entire map. You can even see some vertical redundancy going on. Eska dying very early on in round number 2 when they were on reading. Don't want to repeat that for Kitchen. We've got a Buck and a Sledge on the board right now, and, well, with this full clear, they do have plenty of roamers to deal with, and deal with it they do.
Oh, perfect play there from Penguin on the Lion, using that EE1D scan to freeze Foxay in position and take him out from behind. Foxay really had no options, several Parabellum attackers surrounding him. But now it's Penguin in a little bit of a tough spot. He's going to wait for his teammates likely to come support him because, well, Vertical is nearby, and now making a quick escape, dropping down the hatch, but 60 seconds into this round, and Parabellum have blitzed through this entire map, not only claiming the opening kill, but taking firm map control in no time at all.
Overall, just extremely efficient work by Parabellum on this top floor so far, and hopefully we can see one of their issues rectified going on here. Jesse talked about on the desk, Parabellum struggling on the attacking entries in yesterday's game. Here, Penguin able to take down Foxay very early on, big pick, and now with that Buck and the Sledge, can get so much vertical inside of mining and Train to put pressure on the site. And with no C4s on the defense to deal with, if OXG want to counter it, the only way they can do it is taking gunfights through the floor or going for flanks. And with that latter option, Penguin is already ready for that, sitting on red stairs, waiting. Parabellum have plenty of time to get this plan in action, and OXG just have to wait and either get aggressive or just wait for them to drop.
Well, speaking of getting aggressive, you know for a fact that Newers, he's itching to get involved, but at so low HP, he is going to be so limited in what he can actually get done, because all it will take is, you know, just one frag grenade through a wall or one bullet to graze him in the toe, and he is done for. And with Eska pressuring from above, I mean, that is a danger that Newers has to be careful of. You can see, though, that they want to get aggressive. Laxing trying to get active here, but it's not working for the teammates on the site. Vertical and Dream have both fallen. Newers on the long angle will get one back, but it is a 4v2 Parabellum, the heavy favorites in round number 4. Penguin knows exactly where Newers is positioned. One bullet to the back is all that he needed. A double kill for him. Laxing, the last alive. He does not have a C4 in pocket. He rocks the barbed wire instead, so he is going to have to go massive with at least 3 more kills. He picks up the first. He got the second here. Pre-fire onto Wimpy, but again, the pressure from above being maintained here by Eska. Almost no options for Laxing. When there in round number 4, it was a long angle while Parabellum were just overwhelming, just into the site, flooding in. Newers only could, you know, get one long angle and take one gunfight. The rest of his team, yes, stepping up. Laxing is, you know, contributing here, but Vertical and Foxe, who are 2 players that have been going nuts over the last few play days, at least right now, through 4 rounds, are being subdued just a little bit. Going into the match yesterday, looking at the stats overall as far as the whole league is concerned, Oxygen had 4 players.
Just absurd.
4 out of 5 players in the top 10 stats-wise. That is insanely impressive. The 5th one was Dream, of course, who's playing hard support and has been in very clutch situations and been delivering time and time again. So for OXG, they just got to get those vibes back. They got to start firing. Parabellum right now, all they've got to do is keep it up.
I mean, Laxing's already there right now. It's a matter of the other 4 managing to get on the board. We'll also see Oxygen bring that Valkyrie, something they actually have been shying away from a little bit on this half so far. And, of course, Parabellum respond in kind. Creators bringing out that IQ. We see a couple changes as well, of course. We still got Eska on the sledge, still got Kool-Aid on the Hibana, but it's actually Wimpy on the Finger that we have not seen too much in this match so far. Well, at least not have the biggest impact, I should say. Of course, reading defense as well. Parabellum starting on that top floor, opening up some of these hatches. I want to see the impact that Valkyrie is going to have going forward. You can see Foxe prepping the C4 right now, right below Skylight. This play wasn't as successful yesterday, but he was never really found. Maybe this is what stops Parabellum in their tracks.
Well, at least for right now, they are staying patient. They don't want to get ahead of themselves in terms of this entry. You can see creators running all around the roof, trying to spot out as many gadgets as he can because, well, there are not only a lot of gadgets, a lot of cameras, a lot of utility, but there are several players lying in wait for them on this top floor. One of those, Vertical, positioned in pallets over in the White Hall. You've also got Newers around the corner trying to get active and get aggressive, but both of those players are likely to come under the gun here in a moment. Vertical at least flashes trying to be sent towards his position. 3 Parabellum attackers sitting right around the corner and drones flooding this as well. Vertical, perfectly timed, drops away before his life is in danger. Laxing is the next player in the way. He's holding this heaven position. Also has a drop down if he were to take it, and there it is. So far, 90 seconds in, as I was about to say, no deaths for OXG, but looks like before I could say that, Kool-Aid makes me change my mind.
That is an excellent recovery by Kool-Aid. I mean, that roam was perfect for OXG. A minute 30 wasted in Vertical with 3 attackers, as you said, surrounding him, somehow rotates away, and it's Laxing, the one all the way over on Cocktail Balcony, the one to fall because Kool-Aid rushes over to New Balc and cuts him down before he can get back into the site. Again, excellent play. And now here on reading, the thing that's different from before, now Parabellum, of course, going for that reading take, but they have that sledge who can get that Vertical down. That's what they were missing last time, and both C4s from Oxygen have now missed. They are a lot safer setting up their execute going forward. They have plenty of time to do so, and with pillar control as well, all they need to do is minimize the 2 defenders playing inside of Train, and with the site that's clear inside of reading, OXG are playing for the retake, and 2 players are now going for the flank.
Yeah, this is the play that OXG will need to be successful this flank because they're leaving the site extremely exposed right now. Parabellum, all they've got to do is step up. Vertical getting 1, dropping down away, tucking his way back to the white stairs. Kool-Aid getting this plant down in the meantime, and there is no response yet from OXG. Parabellum have the proper coverage. Dream getting lit up as he tries to go for the retake. It's going to be all about this top-down pressure. Newers is able to get one back, so Parabellum lose another man, but these air jabs from Penguin proving clutch. All Wimpy's got to do is hold left click. He's got more than enough bullets to do the job. A double kill for him. Foxe, though, sticks upstairs, gets another, but triple kill for Wimpy and denied. Newers down below.
He's out of ammo.
The last player and the last hope. He is out of ammo, though. He's going to have to get something or get active here, but Newers is a little scared about challenging this. Looks like he'll go for the spray. He finally got the reload off, and Newers is once again out of time. Has to stick this. Wimpy's got the advantage, and Parabellum have the round.
excellent 4K by Wimpy, just keeping that top floor on lock. I have to say, I got very scared when he had to hit the reload, though. I don't know exactly how much time Newers had to get that defuse off, but if he had stuck it, that could have been a lot more risky of a situation for Wimpy on that top floor. But really excellent coverage by the Finka sitting up there. But overall, again, just another incredibly efficient top floor and roam clear by Parabellum. Of course, OXG wasted about half the round. They're able to rotate down successfully, but that recovery by Kool-Aid really cemented things in their advantage, because a minute 30 to get vertical on reading, that's still plenty of time to get a lot of what you want to do, but going into that with a man advantage, making it a 4v5, and most importantly, making Foxe and the rest of OXG uncertain as to whether or not they should go for that flank. You still have the air jabs as well to stop them from going up red stairs. I'm worried that the timeout might not have done too much for OXG. Maybe the attacks will be different, but Parabellum just look lights out so far.
Well, coming into this game, we've talked a lot about Oxygen and a couple of their mistakes, but I mean, it's about time to talk about Parabellum.
That's
because
true.
They're doing pretty well. It's 4-1 right now over the top-ranked team in the NAL right now. But Parabellum, the reason we got to talk about them, and well, the thing that we were prefacing this entire game with, and really Parabellum's entire performance these last few weeks, the one word that stuck out: inconsistency. Sometimes Parabellum, they look like one of the best teams we have ever seen. And the performances at SI, after getting rolled the first couple of days, they come back in groups and they start to take down top international competition. That's amazing.
Incredible.
But now, look at this. Parabellum are also finding that again. Just a couple of days ago, they're getting smoked by some opponents. They're not getting a single round, and here they are taking down OXG and right now making it look easy.
Of course, we can see OXG, hopefully, if we're talking about consistency, OXG running that same setup, but look, 2 players stationed outside of prep right now. I got worried they might just send it on in like SSG yesterday, but no, they'll go to open up that wall this time. One thing we'll see from Laxing, but the Candel's just going in. Never mind, they are going for the take very quick.
Yeah, here comes a swing through prep, though. Immediately denied. At least Penguin and Wimpy will fall. Vertical collects another onto Creators. Now a triple kill for him as Eskel is left last alive. And yeah, you're right. That one did not work at all. OXG cleaned them up. Overall, a successful half for Parabellum. The 4-2 split has been achieved on the attack, but Oxygen have no trouble cleaning up that last round, finding at least 2 defensive wins.
Yeah, one thing that we do need to talk about, though, is kind of a summary of that half for PB. Able to get the entry game a lot more successful than they have been in this stage so far, and also in the game yesterday. On the attack, able to go and at least have to a majority of the rounds. Able to just go in with an advantage, not one that's really traded out all that much either. Was one, a little bit of the difference maker for PB going forward, and 2, just set them up for just a lot more comfort going into the rest of their execute, going in for that vertical, going in for a quick play on the side. Of course, the Ying didn't end up working out, but when you have plays like the Fuse, you can get a little cheeky with that opening kill. It's a lot easier. But now OXG going to the attack. This was definitely where they struggled yesterday against SSG. It was a 4-2 defensive half for SSG, and now Oxygen, we need to see them make some improvements over yesterday's game.
Well, like we said earlier, on the attacking side for Parabellum, Parabellum is not SSG. Their defenses are going to look a little bit different. And, well, Oxygen, I suspect that if they can get their fraggers fragging, if they can start to feel a little bit more comfortable, I mean, just think about what's happened in the last round. Vertical has picked up 4 kills since we've highlighted his maybe underperformance so far. Foxe has picked up 3 kills since we've talked about that. So clearly, they are heating up right now. If they can ride that momentum and ride that wave over to their attacking half, I mean, if I'm Parabellum, I'm going to get scared.
And this is OXG. They might have taken their first loss yesterday, but they won 4 games before that, so we know they can certainly heat up when they need to. Now, round number 7 will be a good answer to that question for how they can do it. Penguin's got a very tricky angle right here, but you can see OXG might be waiting for it. Oh no, the sledge opens it right in front of him. The Penguin misses the shots, and he'll get away and retreat back behind the pixel shield. And now we see what is overall a fairly standard setup for the top floor. No top floor defense. Cocktail still not gone to once so far. It's a reading defense, but Parabellum holding very far up inside of the Humidor and Pixel. The one half of that drops in the first minute.
Yeah, we saw Penguin and, well, Parabellum as a whole playing pretty forward and aggressive on the defense, but smartly so, not afraid within seconds to back off, maybe shoot a couple of drones, tease a couple of gunfights, and then we'll tuck behind some deployable shields and play a couple more passive positions, playing at least to waste time. But something we know about OXG is that if the defense tries to waste time on this top floor, they've got a perfect counter for that. Just ignore it and go direct down below into train. The one danger, of course, is that if Penguin is able to maintain that deployable shield, then OXG have to constantly be worried about a bit of a flank.
Yeah, Penguin able to hold that aggressively could be a good indicator for whether or not OXG will have a successful attack if he's able to harry that back line. Could be very problematic for OXG. Newers has already made his way down towards Train. Same with Foxay as well. They're going for that dining take like we saw them do yesterday, like we saw PB do today, and now OXG will do it here. They've got some info on that black eye camera as well. That's a big just piece of utility knocked off the board right there. Good that they're keeping things consistent overall right now. Nade going in. No vertical, of course, impossible because Parabellum holding that position. So it's going to be a little bit one-dimensional, but if they can get a kill outside or over into Closet, if they're able to hold this red hall control as well as keeping a control on Train, they might not have vertical, but they'll still have the necessary pieces to get this done. But with it being a 5v5, anything could still happen if PB decide to get active.
Well, PB, they've got to know what's happening right now. They should be making some adjustments. One of those is probably to, well, tell Eska to get a bit aggressive. He does, but that's not going to work out for Parabellum as Oxygen will claim that kill. Now down a man, Parabellum know that, well, this could get messy on the site if they're not careful. These Oxygen drones are sneaking their way through. We can see a couple of these Parabellum defenders keeping an eye on that, but now they've got to keep an eye on this plant because it is going down. No one from Parabellum is really stepping up to move at all. You got a bit of a flank being worked right now, but the priority here has got to be on Wimpy and Penguin making a move. Penguin spots one out and gets it. Kool-Aid will finish off Newers and take him down, but it is just Kool-Aid and just Penguin to make it happen. Penguin again, surprising dream from behind. Kool-Aid and Penguin could be working together here, try to get this pinch going. They may try to get Wimpy back up, and they do, really just baiting them, but Laxing somehow gets them both. Now it's a 1v1. Penguin and Vertical, 15 seconds, and Penguin's gotta stick this Vertical. Where is he?
Can't see
Trying
it.
to play the cover from a blow. He cannot see it. He's got a swing, but Penguin gets off the diffuser. Maybe he would have had time to finish that, but OXG, they play it well, they play it aggressive, and they take the round.
Overall, I want to highlight the play from Parabellum. That retake was very narrowly the saving grace for them in that round. And what was overall just pretty simple by Oxygen. Didn't overcomplicate things. They got the little control they did inside of Cigar. Obviously, they couldn't clear out Christmas. Penguin was there. And as you said, they just decided to ignore them, said, all right, you guys can have that. We're going to focus on what actually matters, taking Train and hitting into the site later on. They got Newers in red, a position that he can play very well if you give him the opportunity to just hold that with the LMG. They start going in as well. And again, with no vertical, the only thing they need to worry about is the site in front of them and the players behind. Sure, Penguin does a lot of work, but Vertical's able to win the 1v1. It's a good late round by Parabellum, but still, Oxygen get their first attack on the board.
A great start from them, a confident start. I feel like that round really
Certainly
was
confident.
just, right, setting the momentum for the rest of this attacking half, telling Parabellum that, well, if you want to go for all of these top floor extensions, all of that hullabaloo on the top floor, well, we're just going to avoid it. We're just going to send our way into the site. But here's something interesting. For the first time, we are seeing top floor come into play. Parabellum reading that maybe OXG are just going to avoid those utility extensions either way. So they say, hey, let's just change it up.
Look at how many of these walls Parabellum have electrified as well. They've got the bar wall, full reinforced, electrified. Freezer wall, full reinforced, electrified. Bathroom, the same story. They have a stronghold right here to try and hold down as much as they can when the Pixel player inevitably gets pressured. Creators who, by the way, not having the best game, 0-6 so far. I imagine he's not going to get aggressive and peek out behind that shield. He'll try and waste maybe about a minute 15. Once that utility gets burned, he can hop back into Bathroom if he wants. Of course, you do have the smoke playing there. Wimpy will probably have to rotate out if that is the case, or maybe we'll see Creators rotate back down to Pallets as well. But if he does that, you can see the Sledge of Foxay getting into position right now on that white window. This is the key spot that can not only take down Wimpy, but Creators as well.
Yeah, they've got to be careful here. You see Creators moving around, not trying to expose himself to that window. The support from Penguin is there behind. Here comes that C4, but a bad toss exposes Penguin, and now Creators as he just darts his way across. Foxay missing the opportunity, though, so Creators gets a second chance at life. The Pixel Shield, though, has been dealt with, so Oxygen making good progress.
No, certainly making good progress. I'm amazed Creators managed to get away from that. Also, as you saw, actually, Penguin sent out the C4, and he used it as cover to allow Creators to rotate over to Pallets. So overall, some good teamwork coming out from Parabellum to rotate back into the site. And you've lost Pixel, but oh no, it's gone in the first minute. If a team is efficient with their utility clear, that's probably going to happen. You still have Bathroom to hold on lock. You've got to be worried about those nades coming in from White Window, but Foxay's gone off of it. They've instead taken inside of Christmas. Now, of course, there is always the worry of the White Hall push if somebody gets aggressive, or Newer sitting there right in that spot, taking down one, and there's 2 kills come in, 1 for each team. It's still back to even, and Wimpy's position is still incredibly important.
That's why he's trying to smoke this off and hold this for as long as he can. Does not want to give Foxay and Dream the chance to push on through, but here come the nades. Wimpy for forced back. He's still alive, though, still holding this angle with the Mossberg. He's not going to have, well, a lot of opportunities to rotate if Oxygen do choose to swing this. But right now, he'll go unnoticed. His position definitely known, but the support from Parabellum is being provided. You've got creators swinging around in that white hall, trying to deny exactly what OXG are trying to get done. But Wimpy, I mean, he may even decide to get aggressive here. Dream right now sticking this plant, though. Eska swings out, no problem at all. The coverage from OXG is simply not there. Kool-Aid gets another. Goodbye, Laxing. It is Vertical and Foxay who have to recover this. Wimpy has not been killed yet, staying alive the entire time. Foxay, you can see, he doesn't know what he should do next. Doesn't even know where Wimpy is positioned. Is he on the door? Is he in the bathroom? Is he on the breach? So Foxay's just going to send it into the site. It'll work for Vertical, who picks up one, but quickly traded. Foxay cut off and exposed. Kool-Aid gets a triple kill. Parabellum take it.
I mean, that round was a combination of two things that Parabellum did right. One was more so just OXG losing their fights, but for Parabellum, of course, I made them the primary target of that. It's Kool-Aid taking those fights all the way over on Cocktail and winning him. Gets a 3K by the end of the round. And that's something where OXG, I imagine, at this level, trying to cover it. They know somebody's going to be over there, but Kool-Aid is able to win those fights nonetheless. But the big problem they had didn't seem like if there was somebody on New Balk, they were not watching the freezer door. I'm not sure if there was somebody there and they missed it, or if there was nobody there at all, but either way, that is a position you need to have cleared. They didn't open those reinforcements, didn't have an angle watching inside a freezer, so that's the only one available. With nobody covering that, Dream is free real estate for anybody there. You got to play reactive. They didn't react in time, and the bomb dropped on the floor cold.
Oh, we've been complimenting the historical great utility usage from OXG, but in that round it was really PB, especially Wimpy and, you know, Creators, who wasn't obviously able to get a kill, still 0 and 6, but did his job providing the support from the long haul, ensuring that no one could push through that white hall door from Piano without going through him first, giving Wimpy that reassurance that that position would be safe. He could hold that with the shotgun, he could smoke it off, he could choke Oxygen into that corner, and, well, I think Oxygen, they did feel a little restricted. They decided to push into the site because they maybe felt like they were out of options.
One interesting thing we'll see here is see a couple ADSs placed behind the bakery bar. Okay, I was about to say, don't see anybody actually in there, so we'll see somebody move on in. That's Creators on the Wamai, who can layer those magnets as well on the bakery bar or the door to try to hold it, but OXG don't seem to be concerning themselves too much with it right now. They're not running the Jackal or the Lion like PB did on the attack, but based on their positions, I mean, they could rotate down later on, but it seems to be that they're concerning themselves with this top floor. And what a quagmire Parabellum have created here. See a castle barricade on the double door, players with a reinforcement and head holes made inside a bathroom as well. The Penguin gives it up early on. PB have tried to create a puzzle on that top floor for OXG to dissect if they want to go for that clear.
And again, the question is, are OXG going to dive headfirst into that puzzle, try to solve it as soon as they can, or are they just going to avoid it? The fact that we can see two of these attackers in Piano at this point, getting this castle barricade open, well, I think we have our answer. They want to head on in and clear it out. You're going to have Vertical clearing his way through Long Bar. You've already got someone taking this fight with Penguin. He'll be forced to fall off. Kool-Aid will also join him in their retreat back to the site.
Yeah, Penguin heads on back down. It's one thing we've talked about before. Penguin has not been having the best time throughout this entire stage, well, on the defense or the attack, but dying early on the hard breach, and the anchor operators did so last round, in fact. He was the first one to die on Cocktail, but this time rotates back, makes it back with full HP as well. Eska, the only one who's taken a little bit of damage so far, but OXG, they've got that clear done. They've got that second floor control. They can start opening up this ceiling, but one thing that Parabellum have that OXG did not have much of, C4s, albeit they only have one, but Eska has his prepped, and with the Valkyrie and the Black Eye cameras on the board, he might still have some intel, sends it up, but it goes wide.
I mean, seconds late on that, but moments away from taking down Foxay, but because he missed, that means all the vertical control, now firmly in the hands of OXG, can be turned against Parabellum within seconds. The Breaching Hammer doing good work, opening holes in the floor above, and, well, Foxay can peer down below.
And one thing that OXG need to worry about, if they're going for that freezer drop, since it's a 5v5, Kool-Aid and Wimpy can still both effectively pressure that position. Wimpy as well holding the bottom of White Stairs with that hole looking into freezer. He's got the utility, but the angle to make it work as well. Already sending out toxic canisters, so if OXG go in for this drop, they don't have a lot of time, and they got to be careful how they make use of what little they have remaining.
Well, Parabellum, because of that vertical play, not a single defender is actually in the site, at least till a moment ago. You've got everyone else slightly extended, looking to get back, pinch on that site once OXG actually make the move. And here it is, finally dropping down into Freezer, the first player with the case. That's Dream, denied by Eska, smoked out, forced to push through Freezer. Newers is clapped by Creators, who finds 2 kills to cap off this round. There's only 1 second left, and Wimpy will finish it off with a nice double kill onto both Foxe and Laxing. But right, a clinical hold from PB. The vertical play begins, they back off, OXG drop in, and it's a mousetrap.
It was just perfectly played by Parabellum right there. As you said, once the vertical starts coming through, on any site, when you have a soft ceiling above you, if those holes start opening up, playing inside of it is very difficult. Again, as I said with OXG, you got to start taking fights if you miss that C4, which Eska did. So they all back off. They've got some players in Bakery, 2 right there, Wimpy, Kool-Aid in long and inside of VIP respectively. And so an OXG, who again don't have a lot of time, go for the drop. All of those angles are still a factor for PB. The Bakery angles, watching on a long angle all the way into Freezer. Wimpy watching bottom white. Parabellum had everything to deny OXG's Freezer drop, and we're not just in range of an upset right now. A 6-3 upset, if PB win this next round, they would beat them 2 rounds better than SSG did yesterday.
I mean, we are seeing, this is a crazy result right now, because we did talk about the question, is OXG going to be rattled from their first loss yesterday? And while it doesn't maybe reflect it on the scoreboard, everyone else is still contributing. Gotta look at Newers.
Yeah.
Not putting up numbers. The young gun on this roster, maybe he's getting flustered a little. Maybe that confidence falling out of that playstyle just a little bit. Maybe pure and simple, Parabellum are outplaying OXG, but it's not something that on paper, when you look at these two teams, you would have expected.
Well, and it's not to put everything on the shoulders of Newers. I mean, we all have bad games. It's going to happen. When you have such a lights-out rookie stage, by the way, for Newers so far, you're going to have a couple bad games eventually. But the position he has on Cafe is a very powerful one if it's working. Say on a dining attack, or not a dining attack, I guess reading and dining. Yeah, that works. If you go up Red Hall, Newers in that position can be very effective. He's the main guy in the breach for Oxygen. If he's not doing his job, if he's not making that space, it's difficult for the other teams to make it work. Again, it's not entirely his fault. There's other issues going on, but it is just one facet of why OXG are down 3 rounds right now. But they were down 4 yesterday against SSG. They very narrowly brought it back, so we'll see if OXG can make it work here. It's a reading defense coming out from Parabellum, not extending nearly as far as they did, on previous rounds. You got Eska down below, a couple players on white stairs, but really, they're just all hanging out on Cocktail.
Yeah, still reinforcing 60 seconds
yeah, that's an
into
odd
the
one.
round. Parabellum.
They're in Christmas as well. I mean, that's a very risky play.
Right. Parabellum proven to be a little bit fluid with this defense, but Oxygen matching that with this speed on their attack. Newers is already here in the Red Hall, pressuring into Dining, looking to hunt for these defenders who right now may not be aware of this position, still establishing rotates right now. The fact that Newers did lob a nade down the hall should communicate to Wimpy that pressure is about to come his way. He'll expend his C4 and come up with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Newers was playing there. He had the position right, but the timing was just a little off. But I mentioned this position and this player time and time again. Newers in red. He can be the difference maker right here. Taking down Wimpy behind that shield would be big, but still, for OXG, for 2 minutes, they've got pillar control, they've got red, they're moving into train, they're making solid progress. Even though it's a 5v5, they can still make this work, but things that Parabellum have done a couple times before, going for those flanks. Penguin trying to go to that top floor before. Right now, Eska on the roam downstairs inside of Kitchen, as Foxe starting to probe for weaknesses, trying to find the part of Parabellum's defense where they're the weakest. They're not giving anything right now. All that's done is a little bit of damage to Wimpy and some to Penguin earlier, but Parabellum have OXG stalled for the moment.
Oh, first kill comes in. That's Eska onto Dream, dropping the diffuser, taking down the support player. Newers wants this back. He'll go for the swing next. A nade in hand. He's going to cook this. Should be perfect, but Penguin avoiding that is on the vertical angle, eventually taken down. Laxing follows that one up. Goodbye, Eska. Creators taken down by vertical. OXG all over this scoreboard. It's just Wimpy. It's just Kool-Aid. They've got to go nuts here, and they just walk out into the middle of reading room, only to get demolished by an OXG who were more than prepared for some Parabellum shenanigans in the end. OXG, keep on moving.
And Parabellum weren't giving too many openings for OXG in that round, and especially in the final minute as well. So I got to give Parabellum that. But for OXG, some bodies might have been cold on this roster going into this second half, going into this map, but they're still able to get the kills in the end. They're able to find those frags inside of reading and inside of dining as well. So they're able to not only weaken one part of the side of Parabellum, their hold in the final minute, but also another side as well. And that gave them the prime opportunity to start moving in. But again, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for OXG. It still was overall a very slow round for a good portion of it, but they've got one on the board. They were able to get almost 4 in a row yesterday, just 2 more here, and now going to Cocktail, which for the defense isn't exactly the easiest thing to do when you have attackers on white window or taking Christmas control. If OXG can rectify their mistakes of the previous attack, this could still be a round win for OXG.
Yeah, Parabellum, they played that one a little bit looser than we've seen from them normally. I feel like unusually so. Every defender was constantly moving around, repositioning, trying to avoid the pressure that OXG was applying. Obviously, that's good on OXG to force Parabellum into that uncomfortable state, and well, it worked. I mean, you saw Penguin in an awkward spot. He tried to get cheeky and get elevated in reading room, but wasn't able to get that kill onto Newers, who really started to heat up in that round, getting 2 kills of his own. Early aggression from OXG, keeping the pace of that attack may be the right recipe for success going forward, especially on this round because we're back upstairs.
We are back upstairs, and it was a late round mistake that was the problem for OXG. Early round was solid, but it was a mistake when Dream was starting to get the bomb down. They didn't have anybody watching Nubalk actively once Dream went to go put that bomb on the floor. So it's not like OXG made a whole lot of mistakes. Yeah, they were kind of contained to that Christmas side, but they got themselves in a spot to put the bomb down, and it was just an issue of coverage. If 2 things happen, one, that. But if Foxay also, as I was about to say, maybe gets a kill on this white window, it could work, but no, it's vertical instead to catch creators rotating down. And that's not only, there were no mistakes made in the early round, but that's even better than they had before.
Yeah, it's a great start for OXG. Creators unable to get anything done once again when Parabellum would really like to put this one away, not allow OXG to come back. 2-8 right now. Creators still stopped before he can get anything else done, and OXG looking to use that momentum to now force out Penguin. He's feeling some pressure from above, relocating. Maybe wants to head back and try to join his team on the site. In the meantime, Newers picking that one up onto Kool-Aid here, who again overexposing himself on the Maestro, losing his life early. That ain't it.
No, that is certainly not it. Kool-Aid was the big player who fended off the site, and there's Penguin gone as well. The previous round from OXG was a good one, but this is about as perfect as you can get. Eska proposes an issue by taking down Newers, but still the 2v4. OXG certainly in the lead.
Oh, Eska so lit up here, finally finished off by Vertical. It's all up to Wimpy, who hits a nice shot onto Foxay, but now has to find 3 more. OXG with a minute to work with full site control. They have a lot of flexibility with how they play this. Wimpy had the pings, but he couldn't get it done.
I mean, that was just, again, I said it not to use it again. Perfect round from OXG. The previous one, it was fine. It was solid. It got the job done until they started to get in the position to go for the plant. That round, I mean, they didn't start moving up. They weren't pushing up white. They weren't trying to repel on Cocktail. They were just holding their angles. Newer's just sitting inside of Cigar, waiting for somebody to peek. Not only does he take down Kool-Aid, who on Cocktail balcony was peeking, just taking fights with the attackers on the opposite side, got a 3K, gone. Cocktail balcony pressure, gone as well. Newers basically did what Kool-Aid did in the previous Cocktail defense, but on the attack. So for OXG, an extremely good round, and answers a big question we were wondering or worried about. Where is Newers, and where is the fragging power on OXG? I mean, it's been a little bit inconsistent throughout the game, despite the positive scoreline, but there, everyone was shooting, and Vertical and Newers as well did big work there.
I mean, Newers has had 4 kills since we just mentioned that he wasn't performing.
I think he heard us.
He might have heard us because now he's starting to heat up. OXG as a whole, the same thing they did yesterday, mounting that comeback. The question is, today, can they complete it? Are we going to see an overtime here on Cafe for the first time? OXG, if they want to emerge from this matchup with any points, that is what they need to do. Of course, guaranteeing yourself at least 1 point when you get to that overtime. And then, of course, the winning team walking away with 2, the losing with 1.
Last time we saw Parabellum defend Kitchen. Once OXG got that vertical, they left the site. They retreated from the area, played inside a bakery, played inside of code check, played bottom white, and tried to eviscerate OXG as they went for that freezer drop. They're running a similar setup. They got the hatch reinforced, got a lot of players playing down below, so they're not extending too far up. not like they did last time, so they'll just chill down on that bottom floor for the moment. Also have a Maestro coming in, no Wamai this time, so that's a big change for Parabellum because sure, the Wamai can help the Bakery hold, but OXG did not go for it last time. So bringing the Maestro here gives that ult that we've seen Kool-Aid do good work with. Hopefully creators can step up a little bit, but it gives them those evil eyes to watch inside of the site, just adding one more good thing about Parabellum's site hold.
Well, Penguin up top, going to give up control of Cocktail, drop down to join his teammate of Kool-Aid, who is sitting prone in the red hall, waiting for the pressure of OXG to begin. But as the sledge work from Foxay occurs upstairs in Freezer, upstairs in Long Bar, Parabellum know that, well, they can't hang out on the second floor much longer. Foxay, as we saw last night, again, I hate to go back to this game another time, but he's been insane. It was such a good game, and he was insane clearing out those second floor defenders just by positioning and using those properly placed sledge holes on that top floor.
All right, well, OXG, they're getting that vertical again. Again, Parabellum not mounting too much resistance to that. They've acquiesced to it, accepted it as an inevitability, so they'll chill. Eska, he's pre-placed his C4, could detonate it later on, maybe waiting for somebody to walk through that fireplace. Like you saw last time, he missed it, but now maybe he's got something here. We'll see what ends up happening. But as these holes open up, Parabellum are starting to retreat, pull back just like they did last time. Only Eska in the site right now, maybe waiting for that C4 to detonate once that hole opens up. We'll just have to see, but also see how OXG end up reading into this. They can likely recognize that Parabellum are doing the same thing they did before, playing for that retake, but what do you know? That C4 goes, and it goes wide again. Parabellum still won the round after it, but with all 5 bodies on the board, the remaining utility with those smokes and those evil eyes, and maybe even a flank if they want to, though I highly doubt it. They can still play the same strat they did last time. I got to see more from OXG with the 40 seconds we have left.
Right, Parabellum going with that same retake style, playing outside the bomb site, waiting for Oxygen to take control, and then likely pinching on in when the moment occurs. And here it is. Smokes go out, the freezer pushes here. Difference here for Oxygen. They've got somebody on the white stairs to provide that coverage. The vertical from there from Foxay, taking the kill onto Eska. Newers onto Penguin, again, heating up. Now they can get this bomb down. Dream going for the plant while Vertical provides perfect coverage, takes down Kool-Aid. Wimpy and Creators have to pull off a miracle here. Wimpy gets one but cannot get any more, and Creators, who is sitting down below, could not react to the Vertical play in time. Oxygen complete that comeback. We're going to OT.
For 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I said I needed to see more from OXG, and they delivered right in the final 40. PB were going with the exact strat they went with before. Play for that retake, play those angles, and one big difference, aside from some OXG members hitting their shots, they mounted a lot more active players inside of Freezer and also sent Vertical down white. That could cover if Wimpy rotated out, went for that utility, went for those fights. But again, in combination with OXG's guns just coming alive on that Freezer drop, Vertical's position was a good adaptation, but the most work was done by the players who dropped Freezer, and sometimes it's not even a strategic thing that makes the difference. With Newers finally heating up, he's got even score count or kill count right now. That was what made the difference for OXG in that execute.
It's what made the difference in a lot of these last few rounds. Not only Newers heating up, but everyone else on Oxygen contributing. This is the score line. This is the frag distribution that Oxygen have been displaying for us over the last few weeks, and this is where they're winning games. It's the confidence, it is that coordination that feels like no other team has been yet to match. Parabellum, to give them credit, have matched it successfully for the most part in this best of one, but it's fallen away in the last 3 rounds. Oxygen having taken 3 rounds in a row unanswered. Parabellum, well, they've got to find a way to respond. This has been, oddly enough, an attacker-sided cafe, 4-2 splits on both ends, and Parabellum in overtime will start on defense.
Well, now we'll see OXG. They're going for that bakery direct. Before, they would go for a full clear of the map, just try to clear out that 3rd floor and that 2nd floor. Then once they get the vertical, go for the freezer drop. This time, they are pressuring that player inside a bakery, and oh no, that's co-check control. Talk about how important it was for Parabellum, but also how important when Lexing countered it. Kool-Aid does the same thing, takes down Newers. That's a big problem, nipped right in the bud.
Oh, Kool-Aid and Creators, though. They're tempting to get aggressive here in Bakery. Kool-Aid gets absolutely punished for that. Dream takes his life. Laxing taking down Penguin. Creators knows he's got to go big. He'll step up, flash, but gets one in the meantime. The support from Wimpy is there, but again, shot in the back by Laxing, who is providing the support from the other side. Creators is now stuck in a really, really tough spot between a rock and a hard place. Site control not in his grasp. He is exposed out in Bakery. Oxygen rotating around to get this bomb down in the site. One player, that's Vertical, sitting outside the Bakery double door. Creators, he'll go for the swing, but he can't do anything to stop Vertical from collecting that kill and from putting OXG on overtime match point.
I'm just amazed that where was OXG the first couple attacking rounds, or even just the first half in general? I mean, what was that round for Parabellum? Newers drops in a coach check, immediately gets a kill, traded out, whatever, unlucky. GG, go next. But then, again, OXG in the early round of this time, all the guns come alive, and again, it wasn't any major strategy that went their way. They obviously refocused their take. They wanted to go for Bakery early on, acquire a lot more horizontal control, a lot earlier, yes, all of that. But most importantly, they just hopped in. They were able to cut down 2 of the site players in addition to the Kochek player they got earlier. And once the site presence was gone, all you had was Wimpy, who had to rush back down the stairs. Creators, who was stuck inside a Bakery. OXG had site control completely for free. Now they're on match point. But as you said, this has been an attacker-sided cafe. And right now we're going to mining and dining. We're seeing Parabellum bring out that fuse strat another time.
I don't know how I feel about this. With the match on the line, they're going back to the fuse strat that...
It worked. It was close, but it worked.
Did the fuse add anything at all to the lineup?
Well, think about this. Think about this. They have a 100% win rate with fuse shield on Kool-Aid. If he switched off, that's wraps. End the game here.
All right. Guess they've got to stay consistent this time, though. Kool-Aid
got the LMG.
I think a smart decision here. Breaking out the LMG, staying with, of course, the cluster charges that Fuse brings, the secondary hard breach can openers that he can have in pocket as well, hoping that maybe those cluster charges can add to his 9-kill tally right now, and at the very least, open up the site, give Parabellum a lot more options and a lot more quick options as they blitz into the map. Foxe hunting for that C4 kill again. Parabellum fell victim to this last time. We're going to see Eska work his way over to that hatch, but Foxe a little bit premature with this fight, so over the few times we've seen him try this over the last few days, it only has ended up working once.
Yeah, Foxe sits under Skylight for 45 seconds. Sometimes he goes for the C4, sometimes he doesn't, but he always rotates down a little bit afterwards, so unsurprising coming out from Foxe. It's been his play-by-play pretty much the entire time. Now that he dropped back down, all is right with the world. For Parabellum, of course, well, I would say they went for that dining take, but there's really not much they wanted to prioritize beyond getting Train and clearing out mining. They put the cluster charges on top of Train, cleared out mining inside of the site, and then they just immediately filled the space that was opened in front of them and going in for that diffuser. Now, of course, here you got the hatch electrified, could take a little bit more time, and I don't know if we'll see them go as quick with those cluster charges. The first one goes out, but the player in Train actually dodges it for the moment, so good fancy footwork by Dream, but it's still clear. And this is where Parabellum started to move inwards.
So Parabellum, they've got the control of that Train side, but look at this, right? They want everything.
Wait,
they're going for the vertical as well, and they're going to get involved here in a pretty big way. Foxe, like you said, pushing up and getting aggressive, but well, Penguin is going to be the wiser and take him down, no problem at all. The Valkyrie failed, relegated to camera duty for the remainder of this one.
Penguin also put 2 air jabs on that white stairs as well, but what a shot by Newers, playing behind the shield, takes down Penguin on the vertical. There's another challenger as well. I hope Parabellum don't give up the advantage they've had right now. Hope they don't squander it, but no, Creators will back off for the moment. But now Parabellum in a much more tricky situation. They've got to move down red, but there's one player there as well. Laxing very important in this spot with vertical to support down below. Red is not nearly as free as it was last time for PB.
Well, Laxing gets droned out, so he will back off, but he needs to get to the site soon because here comes that Parabellum pressure. Newers is the first to fall. Kool-Aid now expending his final cluster charge, and Parabellum off of this cluster charge. They've got to make a decision. Where do they want to get this execute going from? It does look like we're going to see this mining push come in eventually. You've got the hatch coverage coming in from Wimpy, but yeah, they've got 20 seconds, and they're still up top. The drop will finally come in. Wimpy gets felled by Vertical in a great C4. Kool-Aid lit up by Dream, but not finished off. He's got the diffuser, and he's got to put this on the ground, but he's getting pinged, and he is running out of options. Creators dies on the cover. Eska from above is able to get another, but diffuser dropped, and Parabellum are out of time. Oxygen complete a 5-round in a row comeback to take the win over PB in overtime.
I hate to agree with Vertical, what he's mouthing right now, what everyone is asking on OXG, Dream, Vertical, what happened? 6-3. They went up 4-2 on